the age of genocide. Just very quickly, I'm not going to spend too much time with this just because I want you to understand the main points about what a genocide actually is. So, genocide is a 20th century uh, creation that started about 4 or 5 years into what was the Holocaust. When the Holocaust was known, what was going on, they started the genocide. Genocide means race, killing based on race or ethnicity. So there's no real rhyme or reason to it, but it is does have a race-based component to it. And the idea is that the word was coined or started in the middle of the Holocaust. In 1948, the UN Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crimes of Genocide defined genocide as acts committed with intent to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group. This was identified to talk about any type of killing where you are targeting a specific group. A list of the 20th century genocides is as follows. You see that you have a bunch there. The main ones that are pointed out a lot of times are the Armenian genocide, the Holocaust, Bosnia, Rwanda, and currently Darfur. The Armenian genocide was perpetrated or was kind of the Ottoman Empire were the ones that did the genocide towards the Armenian people. This was done by the Ottoman Empire at the time, which is now present day Turkey. It's still very controversial in Turkey, and even to this day, they deny it that it even took place, and they'll actually um, not even associate with people who call this a genocide. The next one is the most egregious, but the one that a lot of people actually associate with the word genocide, and this is the Holocaust. Holocaust is a word of Greek origin meaning sacrifice by fire. This is due to the fact that a lot of Jewish people at the time, after they were murdered, they were put into furnaces to incinerate the bodies. So this was perpetrated or this was done by the Nazis, and it had a race-based component to it, but it was not just Jews; it was also anyone that they deemed inferior. So a little bit misinformation there. Another one that's lesser known but just as bad is done by the Khmer Rouge in Cambodia. Not very well known. Khmer Rouge was a very dictatorial regime. You have the Kurds in Iraq. I'm just going to let you look at that for about 10 seconds. Not much information there. Perpetrated by Saddam on the Kurds. Another one, another genocide that occurred was in Bosnia. Again, this one had a lot of racial components, or not really racial components, but ethnic backgrounds between Serbs, Croats, and Muslims. Resulted in genocide committed by the Serbs against the Muslims that lived in Bosnia at the time. The one that I already had you look at, that's why I'm not going to spend much time, is in Rwanda. This is where you had 800,000 Tutsis who were murdered by the Hutus. Pretty much the international community saw this happening and did nothing. This is why this is a huge, huge issue, because everyone could have done stuff to stop it, but did nothing. Just a little bit about Rwandan women. And finally, the current genocide that is being perpetrated is in the Darfur region, and you see that as 2003 to present. There's a lot of issues with this at the current moment, and this is one of the genocides that a lot is still unknown because there's a lot of misinformation, a lot of stuff, a lot of information that's not coming out of the area. And you can see that again, this is an age that is pretty much 20th century, pretty much is known about in the 20th century.